staff, or management.
When you walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We made it! We made it! We made it! We made it! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house!
When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We made it! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up with chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. It can be a hit just like this. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. I'm proud when you step on the field, man. That's who I did. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We made it! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house! It's a wrap. Game over.
Now, this game is unfortunately getting started a little late, but we're here just ready for this Freestyle Friday. A lot going on today. Going to be hanging out over at Bayside Mitsubishi for a big back-to-school blowout giveaway there. Looking forward to being down there with all the good folks down there. So looking forward to that. And we had some NFL football preseason last night. And it really ought to be, oh my goodness, Friday, because there are a whole lot of folks that are, oh my goodnessing on Mac Jones as if he is the second, third, fourth, and fifth coming of you-know-who. We'll talk about it. If you're a big Mac Jones fan and you're ready to crown him, in the words of the late, great Dennis Green, go ahead and crown him. You want to crown him? It was a preseason game. He was playing against the second teamers, and it wasn't the same group that Cam Newton was playing against, who, by the way, got up close and personal to Chase Young and said, oh, yeah, I thought he'd be bigger. You know, I love Cam Newton's spirit. I love his energy. I love how he, has just kind of taken the pressure off of himself and off of the game. But anyway, we'll talk about it. Pittsburgh got the win over Philly. They're 2-0 in preseason. Again, I could really overreact on that. With my Cleveland fans, but it's preseason, y'all. You know, we've seen teams go out there and win all of the preseason games and not do so well when they count it. We've seen teams go out there and lose all the preseason games and do extremely well when it counted. So we'll just take it for what it's worth. And then I've got to talk about the situation yesterday with Deshaun Watson at practice. The video is now out. And I'll tell you, don't believe everything you're hearing about that situation. It just wasn't what some, Mike Florio, and others are trying to make it out to be. So we'll talk about all that. Got a special guest going to be joining us today, and we got special birthday that we'll be celebrating today. So 281-453-1000 if you want in. 281-453-1000 is the number to dial. What a great game last night in the Field of Dreams game. We'll talk about that as well right here on the lunch break.
Remember in the beginning, when you first started to build a life for you and your family, you never imagined it would come to this. Instead of living your dreams, you're living with debt. In fact, it's smothering you. Now there's a way you can take back control with one simple call. If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you qualify to receive a free, no-obligation consultation on how to get rid of that debt for good. Call the Debt Helpline now. We work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. One simple call is all it takes to get the ball rolling to a debt-free life. Stop living with debt and start living your dreams. Call the Debt Helpline now.
800-958-2156. 800-958-2156. 800-958-2156. That's 800-958-2156.
Tune in to Table Talk with your boy, TD Blackshear, every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. on the legendary KYOK 1140 a.m. and 92.3 FM. See you there.
In need of tires? Check out OMG Tire Services and more. New and used tires, all the name brands you desire, located at 3126 Tidwell, between 59 North and Jensen. Give them a call at 832-767-3211. Top-notch service from beginning to end. When you're done, get your car hand-washed inside and out at OMG Tire Services and more.
I got you. Good
Located
point.
at 3126 Tidwell, between 59
Good
North
point.
and Jensen. Call 832-767-3211. That's 832-767-3211. Conveniently located on the north side.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Two radio stations in one.
Hi, I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 a.m. and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
You're listening to the lunch break on KYOK. You heard?
Appreciate the ladies of Texas Southern University for giving me that drop. You know, again, I'm loving the job that Coach Cynthia Cooper is doing over there, and love those young ladies. They are a phenomenal group of women. We'll talk some Summer League basketball. The Rockets got beat up on last night by Toronto, and they also lost Jalen Green for the rest of the Summer League. So, yeah, we'll talk about all that. You want on 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000 if you want in. That is the number to dial. All right, Keith Hennig said, I am not certain, but I think last night's game was the best baseball I've ever seen. That's that's not an over exaggeration of assessment right there. It really isn't. I've watched a lot of baseball. You know, the Big Red Machine and Boston had some epic games. You remember when the Red Sox player was waving the home run inside the foul ball pole? That was pretty good. There's some other stuff out there that's been pretty good. You know, haven't seen Pete Rose pre-gambling play. Pretty good baseball. You know, Eric Davis, one of the most underrated guys to have come through Cincinnati. Some of the plays that he made, just underrated. Ken Griffey Jr., seeing him ball out. Plays he made out there in center field and at the bat, one of the smoothest swings in the game. You know, I've seen no-hitters, I've seen perfect games, but last night was special. And for all the wrong that Rob Manfred has, you know, done and mistakes he's made, bad decisions, you name it, for everything with the owners and the players and Corona and the number of games they play and all of that, you know, how some of the players have approached their business. Last night was special. They all got it right last night. No rhyme, no pun intended. just legitimately, they all got it right last night. Elisa Gabrielle, Lady Gabrielle, you are a good spirit. Love you to life. They got it right last night. And I mean, you just got to want to pick it apart last night. The Field of Dreams game could not have gone off better. And oh yeah, by the way, who scripted the walk-off 2-run homer to end the game? Who wrote that one in? Because that was magical. And no, the Yankees didn't win. And, everybody tries to make the Yankees America's team for baseball. All right, we know one of the most historic teams ever. They lost. Walk-off 2-run dinger on, in the Field of Dreams game where the movie itself was filmed. I'm looking for James Earl Jones to come out of the corn stalk. I know. Oh, he wasn't the main character. He was for me. He was for me. It was a great game. Great deal. Whoever came up with that for Major League Baseball ought to be sitting in a bigger office right now, ought to be looking at a bigger deposit in their bank account, ought to be getting accolades right now that are bigger than they've ever gotten before because they literally got it right last night. Last night wasn't about sticky substance, wasn't about steroids, wasn't about, Hall of Fame snubs. Last night wasn't about holdouts and mega contracts and all that. Last night was about, I don't know, it was almost like the childhood fascination of the game came out last night. I mean, literally felt like I wanted to put a baseball mitt on one hand, put a ball in the other, and just pound them together for the whole rest of the game. That's how good last night was. That's literally how last night I needed peanuts and some hot dogs. I don't know about the apple pie. I didn't quite go that far. I'm a sweet potato pie guy. What can I say? I've had good apple pie, but last night was about the hot dogs, the peanuts, the glove in one hand, and the ball in the other. You're just sitting there with your favorite team's cap on, your favorite team's jersey on, with your favorite player written on the back of it, and you're watching good, old-fashioned, modern-day baseball. It's good. It's good. Going to be hard to top. That's one of those ones, I don't know if they should even try to do it again because, man, this is going to be a stretch. Somebody, watch your hamstring, watch your spleen. I'm going to stretch you right now. I've mentioned a couple of times that I've been watching all of the Fast and Furious movies, from Fast and Furious 1 all the way to Fast and Furious 9. Several of them were really good. The John Singleton one was really good. I mean, the fact that he passed away and cannot write any more of those movies is a tragedy. Fast and Furious 9 did try to do too much. Like they brought it. I don't mean to ruin it for you if you haven't seen it. Cover your ears yet if you want to see it. If you don't, I got you. Listen, they brought everybody back from the dead. They brought everybody back together. They had family drama. But then they went too far. Like the movie from, the first half of the movie was a 10+. The second half of the movie was a 5-. So it's almost like they should have ended it at 8. But somebody had to do 9, and they got off to a great start, but tried to do too much, and they ruined the whole series. CJ said you watched some good stuff. I know, it's really good. I literally missed stuff, when I was in the theater, and who God only knows where I watched some of the movies. But seeing them again, in my own home where I can pay attention to them, not rush to do anything. Good movies. Good. I'm serious, man. Some good movies. Oh, but AJ, it's so far-fetched. I don't care. My life is far-fetched. I'm good. I'm good with it. But they tried to do too much in this last one, and it ruined some of it for me. What do you say? Let me tie it together. It's almost like if you're not going to do what you did last night with the Field of Dreams game better, don't do it. Leave it out there. Let that be a memory that we will never forget and we will always cherish. And this is coming from someone who is a longtime baseball fan, but not a baseball purist. You know, there are baseball purists out there that they don't want anything touched in the game. They want all the unwritten rules. They want all those who are in the Hall of Fame, those who are not. They want it pure. There's no such thing as purity in Major League Baseball sport or Hall of Fame, but I digress. I'm not even a purist. I'm a long-term fan thanks to my dad and the Cincinnati Reds. I remember when the Reds, the Dodgers, the Astros, all of them were in the same division. A lot of y'all don't even know that the Astros were a National League team in the same division with the Cincinnati Reds and the Dodgers. I remember getting tickets to the games because of, perfect attendance and good grades. And one of the games I would always pick would be the Astros. The Dodgers game would be hard to get. So to see that last night, that just tied it all together. Without even being a purist, I appreciated last night's game. A lot of people did. A lot of casual fans who are movie buffs and lovers got a chance to all come together on something that was a great product. It was great for TV. It was great for the sport. It was great on the field. It was great for the city. It was great for the, for the movie franchise. It was great. It was great. The Yankees comeback was incredible. However, the Sox walk-off was, that's what I'm saying. It had it all. It had it all. It had it all. It had the comeback. It had the surviving. It had the electricity. A lot of runs. I mean, come on, 9-8. 9-8 in baseball. You got a lot of action. A lot of action. Good stuff. Rob Manfred, you got that one right. Anybody got his number? Holla at him. Tell him AJ said you got that one right. Got that one right. Don't know. Again, if you're not gonna top it, don't let some wannabe. Don't let some. I'm gonna climb my way up the corporate ladder, even if I got to step on heads, necks, feelings, and emotions. Don't let one of those people get a hold of it. Don't do it. You did good. Whoever that team was, memorialize them, put them on a plaque somewhere, give them more money, give them a bigger office, and, listen, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Don't do the second half of Fast 9. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, so I got to get ready to take a break, and when I come back, we'll talk about some of these football games last night. I want to get that out of the way. I want to talk about some of the football games last night, and then want to talk about some of the games that will be tonight. Cowboys will be in action tonight. The Texans will be in action tomorrow night. And get ready. For those of y'all who play the Keeping Up with the Joneses Lunch Break Pick'em Challenge, get ready because it's going to be a phenomenal season. Somebody's going to win another $500. I can't wait. Milo was in the running last year. Ferdinand led for like the entire season and got Chicago White Sox before it was all said and done. Before it was all said and done. Keith Hinnick has got to redeem himself. Keith Hinnick, oh man. It was a putrid season. Keith said, "This is my year." We post that up for the world to see. Y'all take a picture of that right there. You got a picture of the man, the legend, and you got his comment. This is my year. It's got to be better than last year. Your year last year, Keith Hennig, was like the Dallas Cowboy, Houston Texans defenses combined. Like if Dallas and Houston's defenses had a baby, that's what your year was. Mike Riggins say it's that time of year. It is, man. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it like I've never been excited about it before. We got a big sponsor that is putting up the $500. We've got the sponsor's going to cover all the weekly $50 prizes. So I'm really excited about it. And man, we've been doing it for a while. We've been. Keith Hennig said truth. I felt so bad for Keith Hennig, man. I felt so bad. Like 1 minute he was in the top 10. You had to be in the top 6. But he was only a couple of wins out of that number 6 spot, and then the parachute broke. He didn't land softly. Todd Malcolm had a tough year. Alexis, Eric, I'm just calling out names I remember. Chi-Town came out of nowhere and won it in the playoffs. Because, again, to get into the playoffs, you got to be in the top 6. And it's like the playoffs, and then everybody's 0-0, and anybody can win it. So what you want to do is pick good enough to get in the top 6 by the end of the year, get into the playoffs, and take your shot there because somebody is going to win $500 courtesy of our sponsor who will be named later, and the lunch break. It's called the lunch break weekly, keeping up with the Joneses. Pick'em challenge. I tried to pick the longest name I can just because. Just because. All right, let's take a break. Mike Riggins, you're gonna win it this year. Mike Riggins got Chicago White Sox in the final in the March Madness challenge. He was like winning in the last weekend of the game. He was winning until the championship, and then his team lost. And then Delano came out of nowhere and took the money and talk mad cash trash once he won. I got to play Delano's drop again. Anyway, we'll do that right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Streaming live, kyokradio.org. Also on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We'll be right back.
Do you have high blood pressure or diabetes? Are you over the age of 65 and covered by Medicare? Then pay close attention to this message. Medicare has introduced some new benefits to help consumers during these cautious COVID-19 times. They realize many of you don't want to leave your home to visit a doctor. So now you can get a remote patient monitoring device shipped to your home at little or no cost to you. Now your doctor can identify your problems in real time, which could potentially save your life. Victory Medical can easily ship this monitoring device directly to your home at little or no cost to you. If you have high blood pressure or diabetes and you're covered by Medicare, make this free call right now to see if you qualify for a new remote patient monitoring device. Call now.
800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. That's 800-213-9527.
Do you have a home that you don't want anymore? We can buy it from you within 24 hours, any home, size, or condition. For over 20 years, we've been buying homes for cash and helping homeowners sell their homes immediately, with no listings or strangers walking through your home. Are you moving? Did you lose your job? Going through a divorce? Whatever the reason, if you're in a bind and you know that you need to sell your house fast, call the expert team at I Need to Sell My House Fast. We'll make you a serious cash offer to buy your home in 24 hours and let you walk away from it. No listing, no waiting. Sell any home, any size, any condition now. Call the expert team at I Need to Sell My House Fast. Make this free call now.
800-306-1760. 800-306-1760. 800-306-1760. That's 800-306-1760. If your loved one has passed away due to COVID-19, pay close attention to this message. You could be entitled to a death benefit of over $300,000. The U.S. government has set up a fund to pay families relief if they've lost a loved one due to COVID-19. We know this is a hard time for you, and this fund has been set up by the federal government to help ease your pain. The compensation includes a death benefit and lost wages benefit. Time is limited, so we urge you to make a free phone call right now. There's no cost to you for this claim. All legal fees are only covered once you receive your money. So if you've lost a loved one due to COVID-19, call the legal helpline right now to find out if you qualify for a cash award. Here's our number: 800-876-7047. 800-876-7047. 800-876-7047. That's 800-876-7047. Paid for by the IPG Law Group.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Jonathan McReynolds here. Make room for the lunch break right here on the legendary KYOK.
All right, y'all. Jonathan McReynolds, the dude that wins Stella after Stella after Stella after Stella, right here on Freestyle Friday with AJ. And I'm trying to help somebody else be a winner on the Lunch Break Weekly, Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge. CJ says, is 1360 a gospel station? Yes, ma'am, it is. It is our flagship station for the family of stations that we belong to. Let me see if I can name them all. I should give away something if somebody else can name them off, but y'all ain't going to be able to do it. So 1360 KWWJ, AM 1140, 92.3 KYOK. Man, I'm dropping the ball already. We've got AM 1500 down in Wharton. We've got oh man, I'm drawing the ball. We got a station in Beaumont. And I'm trying to say, is that 990? I should be better at this. I should, but I'm not. We got Tyler. KGLD up in Tyler. We got KFIT in Austin. We got KCHL in San Antonio. What am I missing? Oh, Killeen, KRMY in Killeen. Did I get them all? Yeah, but they're all gospel radio stations. They're all owned by the same person, same family. They all have an FM component to them, and they're all phenomenal stations. So if you're ever in any one of those areas, you look for those stations. You're going to get some good gospel music. I'm just glad to be a part of that family. I'm a part of this family. That's why I don't need to be a part of any other family. And y'all know I got one family in particular. If they gave me the house and said, you can pass out keys to other people, I wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. So anyway. All right, let me get to this game. Let me get to this game last night where everybody's just going crazy. Oh, Mac Jones. Oh, we love Mac Jones. Yay. Washington lost to New England last night, preseason football, 22-13. Mac Jones came in and was 13 for 19, 87 yards, averaged 4.6 yards per throw, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He got sacked one time for a 9-yard loss. Cam Newton started the game, 4 for 7, 49 yards, averaged 7 yards a pass, no touchdowns, no interceptions, and he didn't get sacked, but boy, he sure got lit up. He sure got lit up by Chase Young. Ball came out, looked like it was going to be a turnover, and they said his arm was coming forward. Let me just say this. That was not Cam Newton's fault in any way, and anybody saying that it is. Oh, he should have stepped up in the pocket. Oh, he should have did this. Oh, he should have felt the pressure and ran the other way. Hush! It was not Cam Newton's fault. The left tackle even said that was on me. He ain't lying for Cam. He's not lying because of Cam. He's not lying to Cam. That was on me. And I'm sorry, by the way, Chase Young is one of the fastest steps in the game, so he gets up on you quickly. Mac Jones would have gotten obliterated. Mac Jones would have gotten welcome to the NFL, young man. Ben Sutter III, who I highly respect. BS3 Radio says, slow down on Mac Jones, people. LOL. No better words to live by than those. Folks get all excited over, in the words of Allen Iverson, practice. What are we talking about? Practice? Not the game. We're talking about practice. It's a practice game. And oh yeah, by the way, Mac Jones didn't run against the defense led by Chase Young. You let me see Mac Jones shake Chase Young when the left tackle misses a block like that left tackle did, and then now we can talk about something. Oh, but AJ, did you see some of those throws? He's a quarterback. He's supposed to be able to throw the ball. Oh yeah, but not with that accuracy. It's the NFL. If you're in the NFL and you don't have that accuracy, come on. Oh, yeah, but the Alabama system prepared him for this level of quarterbacking in the NFL, and that's why soon he'll be the starter over Cam Newton. Hold on. Timeout. Name me 5 great Alabama quarterbacks. Go. I'm talking about NFL quarterbacks out of Alabama. Go. I said great. Don't be talking to me about A.J. McCarron and some of these other cats. I said great Alabama quarterbacks who did well in the NFL. Now all of a sudden we're giving special pedigree to Alabama quarterbacks? Since when? Excuse me, House Sway. When did this happen? Was I asleep when all of a sudden Alabama was the factory for NFL quarterbacks? I'm so glad to have a brother named Keith Hennick, because, man, some of these young squirts, they don't know. Joe Namath, Kenny Stabler, and there's a big gap. And since some of y'all don't know who Joe Namath and Kenny Stabler are, pull them up. Now all of a sudden, we're giving so much credit to Alabama quarterbacks when Alabama quarterbacks have historically underperformed in the NFL, even though they put up major numbers in college. So now we're going to make Mac Jones the exception because of Steve Sarkisian and it was a pro-style offense. Come on, man. Please, y'all. Let me put up what Ben Sutter III said. I'm going to put that up and I'm going to just tag it right there. I'm pinning that. I'm pinning your post, Ben, because you're going to help somebody with that. Where is it? Where is it? How do I pin it? Pin comment. Pinned it. Great system. Steve Sarkisian is different than most of the offensive coordinators that came through Alabama. But we don't know yet if he's about to rip off all these great Alabama quarterbacks. I mean, Jalen Hurts technically is an Alabama quarterback. Tua Tagovailoa is definitely an Alabama quarterback. Are we ready to label them as great? Because you're not going to label Mac Jones as great and label them as marginal. Not going to do that. Like they actually got hardware too. And if you want to be real about it, to me, Tua's is much more impressive than Mac's. Tua came in off the bench. Tua was like, yo, bring me the lefty out of the bullpen. So I'm just saying, man, slow down on this whole Alabama quarterback in one game is already better than Cam Newton, now. Mac Jones is not better than Cam Newton now. And you can say what you want. Oh, AJ, well, since he got hurt in Carolina, he hadn't been a shell of himself. Yeah, he caught COVID, joined a new team, is learning one of the hardest offenses in the world to learn, and that is coming from quarterbacks who actually played in the offense, Matt Castle and others. Guys who've actually played in the offense, not just going off what they heard. I was listening to the game last night, and they were saying how, he looks great. He had just walked out on the field. He had not even lined up in position. He was in the huddle, and everybody, he looks great. He's got a command of the huddle. And dude, everybody was in the huddle. I don't think he commanded them to be there. They knew where to go. I get it. I get it. Crown him. Crown him. I got nothing against that young man. He's a Jones. We stick together. People are trying to keep up with us all over the world. Mac is going to be fine. Gonna be fine. Gonna. Ben Sutter, slow down on Mac Jones, people. LOL. No truer words to live by. All right. I got to get Sybil Wilkes on here, and then I want to do some birthdays, and then we can go from there. We can go for that. Let me get Sybil Wilkes on here. Let me do some birthdays, and then we'll go from there. Because I know y'all want to talk all day about Mac Jones. We ought to. I mean, Mac Jones is probably getting more. He's probably trending right now, and I don't even know it. I don't even know it. All right, let me get Sybil Wilkes on, and then we'll do some more birthdays right after this. If you got a birthday, hit me up 281-453-1000. That's 281-453-1000. It's the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. The Census Bureau's long-awaited release of redistricting data Thursday will unleash a flood of new state political maps in the weeks and months to come. It starts with a handful of states pressed against early fall deadlines to draw new district boundaries. Altogether, the maps could tilt control of Congress for the next decade, but they'll come out one by one at first. Across the country, Republican governors like DeSantis of Florida have signed executive orders or enacted laws seeking to prevent local officials from imposing new mask mandates. With the school year getting underway as the Delta variant of the coronavirus surges, some local officials have decided that defying the measures is the only option. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recently revised its guidance for schools, recommending that all students and staff members wear masks regardless of vaccination status. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SybilWilkes.com. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
All right, thank you very much. There's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know today. All right, real quick, let me hit some birthdays for you. And there's one I'm leaving off because it's a special one, and I gotta wait. Octavius Johnson, one of my high school classmates, celebrating a birthday today. Tony Gentry is celebrating her 45th. Also, Gucci Peters, hey Gucci, celebrating her birthday. Queen Pinky Davis is celebrating a birthday with Rhonda Francis, Sheila Thomas, Emma Jordan, 39 years young. Happy birthday, Emma. Peter Joseph, Erica Matsumoto. Erica, love you, girl. Hope everything is going well with you. Michelle McKnight, one of the baddest DJs here in the city of Houston. And man, she knows good food. Happy birthday to you, young lady. Kim Bethea Sykes is 66 years young. Alicia Campbell celebrating her birthday along with Adrian Rowe, Michelle Hamilton, and Sarah Ginn. Sarah, you know I love you. You know I love you and your husband. All right, happy birthday to you all. Let me get to the celebrity birthdays, and then I will hit your music. Ben Hogan, famous golfer, was born today on back in 1912. Of course, he passed away in 1997. He's from Texas. Elvis Grbac, one of the better names as quarterbacks. Elvis celebrating his birthday today. And that's where I'm going to stop. All right, real quick. Sing to him, Usher.
Oh, go shawty, it's your birthday. Ooh, it's your birthday. Go shawty, it's your birthday. Today's your day. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, happy birthday to everybody celebrating birthdays today. And again, we got a special one that I did not read, but today is the day, and we're going to celebrate that birthday. If you or somebody you know is having a birthday today or having one over the weekend, get it to me before I go. 281-453-1000 or 832-403-5005.
The legendary 1140 AM KYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM A222CX Houston.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the host, guests, and callers, who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
When you walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We made it! We made it! We made it! We made it! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house!
When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We made it! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up with chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. He can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's more out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. You had no work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
We ready?
I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house! It's a wrap. Game over.
Nah, that's his first hour on the book, second hour underway right here on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM, streaming live, kyokradio.org, also streaming on Facebook and Twitter, at Lunch Break KYOK, at Lunch Break KYOK, and then on YouTube, you can find us at The Lunch Break with AJ Jones. The Lunch Break with AJ Jones. CJ sent in a birthday. Shonda Coleman has a birthday on Sunday. My daughter, she visited your church on Mother's Day this year. Shonda Coleman, happy birthday to you. I wish I could sing because I would break you off. I would definitely break you off. I remember Shonda. You don't have to keep reminding me that she came to church. You act like I got a short memory. I can't remember stuff. Huh? Yeah, tell Shonda I said hey. Tell baby girl I said hey. All right. So anyway, this whole Mac Jones thing is folks are really all up in my mentions and text messages about Mac Jones. Listen, I'm not a Mac Jones hater. I'm not. Just slow down. It's one preseason game, and he was taking on the backups and the second team, and a lot of cases it wasn't even the second team he was up against. So he's not throwing against first string defensive backs. He's not avoiding the rush of first string defensive linemen, linebackers, and all that. So let's just keep it in perspective. You don't want to rush the young man. You don't want to throw him out to the wolves. You want to let him get his confidence. You want to let him process the information. Make sure, because New England has very wordy play calling. Make sure that he gets everybody in the right spot on the same front. And then they got check with me reads on the line. So he make sure he's calling that. Sometimes they're going off the Mike, middle linebacker. Sometimes they're going off the other Willie linebacker. But no, he has to know all of that in a short amount of time before the play clock expires and before he gets his head taken off. Slow down. Let that young man process, and let's not crown him. And whatever you do, don't step on Cam Newton to make Mac Jones look better. And I'm tired of hearing how great the quarterbacks are out of Alabama, and the fact that they play such a tough schedule prepares their quarterbacks for it didn't prepare any of the other ones for it. They didn't get prepared by the same tough schedule. Why has Clemson produced more recent, better quarterbacks than Alabama? And yeah, I'm going to put Deshaun Watson in there. Why has Clemson produced more recently better quarterbacks than Alabama? I'm listening. I mean, let's take the shine off of Mac Jones and let's talk about the quarterback preparation at the two programs. I mean, excuse me, Dwayne Haskins looked as good as Mac Jones, if not better. So why has The Ohio State University produced better NFL quarterbacks than Alabama? I'm listening. USC. I'm talking about Southern California. You know, I think sometimes we get on these shows and we say things, and when it gets fact-checked, then it becomes a little, Florida has produced better NFL quarterbacks recently than Alabama. LSU by far than Alabama. But, I guess it sounds good to say, playing in that Alabama system prepared them to be great NFL quarterbacks. Maybe it did, but it usually doesn't translate. All right, so last night again, you had New England with the win over Washington, 22-13. And then the Steelers, they ain't no steel curtain yet. The Steelers got a win 24-16 over Philadelphia. Dwayne Haskins, 16 for 22, 161 yards, 7.3 per yard average per pass, and a touchdown, no interceptions, and didn't get sacked. Mason, be nice, AJ Rudolph, 8 for 9, 77 yards, 8.6 yards per play, got sacked once for 10 yards. Josh Dobbs, 5 for 6, 30 yards passing, 5 yards per pass, no touchdowns, interception, didn't get sacked. I know I'm not the man in Pittsburgh. If I were, it would be Ben Roethlisberger, Dwayne Haskins, Josh Dobbs, period. Let your boy Mason Rudolph go and back up. Let him go compete to be the man in Washington. Everybody's talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick, in whom we trust, and I know Taylor Heineke's got a lot of folks, all excited. Let Mason Rudolph compete for that. I like what those two young guys bring to the table for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Over on the other side, Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts, 3 for 7, 54 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks. Joe Flacco, 10 for 17. He got the majority of the reps, 178 yards, 10.5 yards per pass, a touchdown, no interception. He got sacked one time. And then Nick Mullins, 1 for 5, 4 yards, threw 2 interceptions. Nick, what you doing, brother? Nick! Keith Hennig, Big Ben is done. Time to start Dobbs. I like Josh Dobbs, and you cannot look anybody in the face honestly and say that he's not a smart quarterback. He's an actual rocket scientist. So whenever folks say, oh, yeah, this isn't hard. For Christ's sake, it's not rocket science. And Josh Dobbs is one of the ones who can say, yeah, but I'm a rocket scientist, so. Man, big shout out to him. Love that guy. No matter what he does, I love him. I love him. So again, Flacco had the better night. Jalen Hurts, he did his thing. And Nick Mullins. That's the quarterback room. So, Sirianni, head coach of Philly, said we're gonna make our offense so simple to our guys, but it's gonna be so complicated to the defense. I don't think Pittsburgh had any problems with that defense, with that offense. No. Third down efficiency, Eagles were 0 for 8. Pittsburgh was 11 for 17. Total yards, Eagles 277, Pittsburgh 407. I know they haven't unveiled the whole thing yet, if any of it, but I don't know if that plan's working so far yet. Maybe it's the first game. It hadn't kicked in yet. We'll go with that. All right, let me take a break. Let me stop being mean. Again, Jennifer Thibeaux is going to join us right here on the lunch break. Looking forward to hearing from her. Got a lot of things I want to run past her today, get her thoughts on a lot of this, especially what Becky Hammon had to say about not checking boxes. I want to talk about that. Want to wrap up the Olympics and anything else you want to talk about on Freestyle Friday. Just want to pre-sell. Got some great interviews lined up for next week. One of them is going to really blow your mind. I cannot wait. So y'all stay tuned for all that right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. And real quick, if you need home security, the home security hotline lets you get going for less than $1 per day to get your home secured. 1-800-561-6198. That's 1-800-561-6198. Less than $1 a day to get your home secure with the home security hotline. All right, take a break. Be right back.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month, level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110. Guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based off preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify. 800-298-0139. 800-298-0139. 800-298-0139.
Hey.
800-298-0139.
Can you hear me fine? I've got AirPods to hear and my mic.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Perfect.
All right, let me turn my camera around. So I'm centered. Somebody told me to, my producer told me to center my camera.
National and local political issues.
How's the show been so far?
It's been crazy. I've been acting like a nut.
I see it.
I like right now that you're on.
And give them power. We're asking.
Look, I'll behave now.
That's all right. You don't have to behave.
Streaming on KYOKradio.org. Thursdays at 10 a.m.
Stand by. Do the jingle.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
This is Lakeisha, and you're listening to the Lunch Break on KYOK.
I had to pull this out for just my friends. I mean, friends. How many of us have them? Ones we can depend on. Friends. Before we go any further, let's be friends with Dr. J, Jennifer Thibeaux, all the way from wherever she's hanging out right now. Hey,
Florida.
Doc, how are you?
I'm well, AJ. How are you?
I'm doing great. Been looking forward to you joining us today. I know great things are going on. I know today is a big day, and look, it's worldwide. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to that real quick.
Well, yes, today was a great day in the Dishman household. They had their fifth of 5 total children. They gave birth to Chris Edward Dishman on this day.
Edward Dishman.
Chris Edward. We have to say his whole government.
You have to say his whole name.
You have to say a whole government name.
It's his day.
I mean, this is his day. Yeah, this is his day. And we had the pre-birthday bash last night. Party of 2. But we had what we call the 1996 party. Okay. So I put one song on, is how it started. And by the way, the one song was Too Legit to Quit. And I said, can you believe that came out in 96? And then we started reminiscing on all the things that were happening in 96 in our lives. And he was just getting ready to go to the Redskins. He was leaving Houston at that point. And I was graduating from Texas A&M at that stage of the game, returning back to Houston for a short period is what it amounted to. And then I moved again and all this great stuff. But it was a monumental moment. So we decided to do like Jammy Jam all 1996. When I tell you, I'm talking about, you couldn't tell us that we were not in like club. We were sweating, we dancing, pulling out every dance we could remember. I'm talking about Cabbage Patch. It was going down. It was going down. The WAP, the prep. Come on now. Roger Rabbit, come on. Robot, we did it.
My goodness. That is the way to do it. Happy birthday, Chris Dishman. One of the baddest Oilers in the business, one of the best men in the business, the husband of our beloved Jennifer Thibeaux, and just a great dude. Listen, I can't sing. Can you sing?
Well, no, I cannot, which is why I put the video with the music to have the happy birthday song. Yeah.
I've got one of the best just for Chris.
Okay, all right.
For what we did for everybody else, this is for Chris.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
That's Jennifer Hudson, by the way. Jennifer.
Oh, yes, I got it. Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday.
My brother Chris.
My boo.
You better do that, lady. You better do that.
And it's crazy because in my head it sounds like that, but you know, like when I sing it, it sounds just like that.
Ain't no doubt in my mind that when you sing it sounds, and she probably heard you singing it.
It's why she sings it like that. Absolutely, yeah. But shout out to Jennifer Hudson because her movie with Aretha Franklin, her portraying Aretha, comes out in theaters today. So for those who are brave enough to be in theaters, please, everybody go see it.
Well, you know, I got spoiled when they were releasing movies on HBO Max, Disney.
Me too.
And all that. I was like, perfect. I'll pay whatever extra I got to pay just to get the movie. And now they're releasing some of them only in theaters. So I'll get back to y'all later.
I know. And I hate that because I think that's going to hurt her numbers for opening weekend.
Yeah.
Those are important. But I was like, yeah, but still, I have to be smart.
Yeah.
You're in Texas. I'm in Florida. Those are two competing states for who can be the hottest on COVID cases. So it feels like a competition, a very bad competition where everybody loses.
I really feel like they are battling for something, and I don't think it's for supremacy of any kind of way.
No. Yeah. So everybody be safe. That's for sure.
Yeah, Dr. J, I'm glad to have you on. A couple of things that I wrote down here that I wanted to make sure I asked you today. Man, we so don't deserve women. We don't. I'm speaking from a man. We don't deserve y'all. You know, God knew what he was doing when he gave us y'all and then let all of us come from y'all. I mean that. And then when you throw in there black women, I mean, literally, y'all have saved us time and time and time again from ourselves. When I look at what the women did in the Olympics as far as medals and gold medals. If they were their own country, they would have finished 4th in medals won at the Olympics. And I mean, and that was with all the situations that happened. That was with all the unexpected things that happened. That's with all the bumps in the road. The women literally helped put the entire country over the top in gold medals and in total medals. Talk about that from a standpoint of, do we really understand and appreciate what you all go through just to be great?
You know, I have to agree with you. You know, I'd love to say, oh, you know, no, it's no big deal, because that's what we do. You know, I think as Black women, we just try to not make a big deal out of it. We're just going to grind and work hard, and that's the way we roll. But the reality is, there's so much that happens along the way, so much that we have to fight for, be in survival mode about. Be on the lookout, head on a swivel, every phrase imaginable, because there are just so many different forces that don't necessarily want to see us great along the way, especially when you're really extraordinary. I mean, you have to think about it. Winning gold medals, that means your talent is really extraordinary, right? And so people saw that extraordinary talent in each of these women all along the way. So, you know, when people see extraordinary talent, you sometimes become a target. Because they don't want to see you actually live up to what they think you could be. And so just to get there, it's just incredible. But, you know, it goes without saying, though, or it's important to say, there were some Black women that didn't make it to the Olympics, like a Coco Gauff, who had to leave because she tested positive for COVID. So just imagine, you know, or woman of color, Osaka, Naomi Osaka, who was upset. You know, she just lost, and that's unusual for her. But, you know, there's winners and losers, and those things happen. So there's so much. You know, Simone Biles was expected to do certain things. She hit pause, came back, and actually got a medal as well, and so added to that medal count for Black women. But, you know, we forget all the different trials, and we've seen them, you know, in front of us, but we dismiss it like it's actually not a big deal. And the Olympics for most people is a once in a lifetime moment. Most people don't get multiple Olympics. So then when you dive deeper into that list of Black women, to see that many of them are multiple Olympic, you know, winners of not just medals in this Olympics. This is not their first show, and they've done it, and they consistently do it, and it's just it's a joy to watch, because it's a reflection of all of us.
I got to tell you, I had a different appreciation, not just because of Simone and what she was going through, but how she pivoted, and in her pivot, it pushed other people to the forefront for their chance to be great.
Absolutely.
And when I think about single mothers out there and the sacrifices that they make so that their children can be great, when I think about wives out there and the sacrifices that they make so their families can be great, when I think about people who go out and they're an executive, or they're the supervisor, or they're the manager, and they still come home and their mommy and their tutor and their doctor and their lawyer and their referee and all of that, it's like, man, do we really get what these amazing women go through just to entertain us?
I agree wholeheartely, because, you know, I have worn so many hats as a Black woman, former athlete, you know, professional, business professional, you know, where people go, oh, I thought you were this way. Well, okay, maybe in that setting, but in this setting, I'm Liz's mom. I'm not a speaker. I'm not this, you know, I'm not doing a global press conference right now. I'm trying to make sure that her jersey is clean in between games. So I'm gonna sit on the floor in the washroom of the hotel to make sure nothing happens at 2 a.m. because that's when it's, you know, like it's the things we do. You know, it's the things we do to make sure that things go the way they should, and our pride extends to beyond us. And I think that's what's so special. And I don't know if that's just a Black woman thing. So, but I'm speaking as a Black woman, obviously.
Sure.
But my pride extends. Like when you're successful, AJ, I feel like that's part of my success. And so everything I can do to extend to you, then that's what I do. And that's the way I do with everybody around me, family, that my success is connected to everybody's success. So that's what makes me work harder.
Yeah. And that's another one of those things that kind of gets overlooked. How, and again, we sisters in general, not just Black women, all women. Women have an innate nature that we can't even touch. And men, stop fooling yourselves. You cannot outdo a woman. You just can't. Not in what they do. You just can't. I'm sorry.
I'm going to have to agree with you because, I even had, I want to say a man's mentality, even when I was getting close to giving birth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm an athlete. It's fine. I've had pain before. This is I'm not. I literally there's levels to this thing called womanhood, and you don't even realize it until you start going through the joy of the journey. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is not like a gymnastics injury. This is for real. I said, oh, I'm bringing a human being.
Jennifer, my running joke is that my child will be 39 years old. I'll still be laying in the bed trying to get a shot. It's like, I know I just had that baby. That baby 39, I still need a shot. I did it. Hey, we have to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about what Becky Hammond had to say about don't be just checking boxes where I'm concerned. We'll do that when we come back. Dr. J is our special guest. Happy birthday to Chris Dishman, celebrating his birthday today. We're going to rock that for the rest of the show. And if you want to end, 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000. You can also text me at 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. This came in from it's got to be a different AJ because it's not me. AJ, tell AJ, wait a minute, I read that wrong. AJ, tell Chris I've been a big fan of his from day one. That secondary was on lock when he was a member of the Oilers. So be sure and spread that along. One of his old-time fans is in the building. All right.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back right after this on the lunch break.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet.
Okay,
So
here's
make
a good
free
question.
call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book,
down in
a
Miami.
masterpiece.
Okay,
All
right.
In hard copy and
Look at you. You all over the place. That's awesome.
Never know.
You never know who's listening.
Some of the most famous authors in the world. Call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-219-8332. 800-219-8332. 800-219-8332. That's 800-219-8332.
People Talk with your boy, TD Blackshear, every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m.
Okay,
on
one more
the
after this.
legendary KYOK 1140 a.m. and 92.3 FM. See you there.
In need of tires? Check out OMG Tire Services and more. New and used tires, all the name brands you desire, located at 3126 Tidwell between 59 North and Jensen. Give them a call at 832-767-3211. Top-notch service from beginning to end. When you're done, get your car hand-washed inside and out at OMG Tire Services and more. Located at 3126 Tidwell between 59 North and Jensen. Call 832-767-3211. That's 832-767-3211. Conveniently located on the north side.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Radio stations in one.
Hi, this is Sade from Bondrin and Belford, and you're listening to The Lunch Break.
Appreciate you, Sade, right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM, streaming live, kyokradio.org, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We got Dr. J, Jennifer Thibeaux, joining us here on the show. We appreciate you making the time for us. Got a question or a statement, actually, that came in from area code 305288. Said, I absolutely love that. And the thing about women, when they are involved, there is an excellence that we men sometimes miss. I got to agree with that. It's like, y'all don't let us be less than. And I'm talking about the women that really, really care. It matters. Y'all won't let us be less than. Y'all going to bring a spirit of excellence to it. And we saw that in these Olympics. We saw that with even the tough decisions that had to be made. There was a spirit of excellence that took it to the next level.
Absolutely. I mean, look at Allison Felix. Like, you know, it's like that's it was so important to me for her to be successful at this Olympics because the example needed to be seen.
Right.
You know, we like on a global stage. I feel like I see this example of female strength and greatness all the time around me and the women around me. But I think the global stage needed to see it in a certain light. And I love the fact that she pointed out she was wearing her own shoe.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I said, tell him, Allison, because I don't know how she got dropped to begin with. But hey, that's okay, because I guess somehow a baby was supposed to slow her down. And, you know, and instead it sped her up. So she walked away being the most decorated, you know, track and field American. It's amazing. It's incredible to me. And her little daughter's adorable. I love the commercials to make sure that the world understands what the feat really has been at her age. It's just incredible, but it's the spirit of excellence, I think, that and determination that really carried her across that finish line twice. And so I'm just, like I said, I couldn't be more thrilled about just the excellence I saw for all the athletes.
Yeah, that's a great example with Allison Felix because, man, she could have handled that whole situation with Nike a lot different. Like most of us would have been.
It could have gotten ugly. It could have
been ugly, been nasty, and all of that. Didn't do it. You know, okay, you're dropping me. That's fine. I'll start my own shoe deal. And oh yeah, by the way, these are going to be so well made and so well put together. I'm going to wear them myself. And oh yeah, by the way, I changed sports and I won. I won that medal, and I wearing the same shoes, winning a gold medal, and like you said, am now the most decorated women's track athlete. Period, men or women.
Period.
And I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm family, and that's amazing, man. She brought a view back to the Black family that we haven't seen in a long time.
Absolutely. And I just love it. You know, we tend to, I think that was the shock and awe of the dare I mentioned the name Bill Cosby, but people had just focused on this one image, you know, and it's like there are images of excellence all around us. Let's not just focus on one. Let's look for them in everybody, in our neighbors, in the people we work with. You know, that excellence is really there, and let's uplift it.
Yeah, and I'm a little nerd. I'm a little geeky when it comes to movies and things like that. And I pay attention that, you know, the Black leads are, you know, all gangbangers, or they're all, you know, music moguls, or they're all, you know, and nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with the music moguls and the fashion moguls and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, we do a lot more than that. I pay attention to, man, out of all the people that could die in this scene, it was the Black person. You know, I pay attention to that. It's like, so when you see a real life image of an Allison Felix, when you see a real life image of Raven Saunders being concerned about her mother, and that when you see a real life image about Simone Biles being concerned about her gymnastics family as well as her personal family, that's the kind of image that we need to see, especially in a time like this.
Absolutely. It was the Olympics was really, it revealed a lot of who we are as fans watching a sport, right? It revealed that fans still don't understand the dynamics of sport. It revealed that, right? that there's a significant gap, and in that gap lies a lot of ignorance. But I'm not saying that to be ugly. I just mean there's just a lack of information.
Lack of information, lack of understanding.
Right. And lack of compassion.
Right.
It revealed that people still aren't accepting of mental health issues. And, it revealed itself. We got to see it in living color that society really is not necessarily all the way there yet. And so that's why it's so important to keep talking about it, because we've got to get the majority of folks there to understand.
The thing I love about having you on, Dr. Jennifer Thibeaux, joining us here on the lunch break, is that our conversations take on a life of their own. You've done a lot in brand management. You've done a lot with Fortune 500 companies. You've done a lot with very, well-known athletes and celebrities and what have you. And you've been, the person behind the scenes making their brands look good or making their events look good. How would you, wow, this is going to sound crazy. How would you counsel America to be better? How would you counsel, groups like the Olympics or the NFL or the NBA or even Major League Baseball? How would you counsel America to be better?
Well, really, I think it lies in the heart of what we just talked about. Show the whole process. Show the entire process so that people really can learn and take the whole journey. You look at football. I'll just pick football, for example. Football, we only see the games generally. And we may see clips of a practice or, workouts, but we don't see the whole process. And so people say, well, a $180 million contract, that's crazy. They pay them too much. And, but you didn't see the whole process. Right. This athlete is being valued for the talent that they actually bring to the table. What if, dare I say, we're all underpaid in the non-sport category? What if sports is paying right and we're deeply underpaid? We are so busy looking at an end result that we're not learning about what the journey is and the process to have an appreciation. So I used to, and I still do to a small extent, but I used to, on a larger scale, have a broadcast business where we would train pro athletes in broadcasting.
Yeah.
Take them out to California. We had a studio. And they could quietly train, not in front of people, not where they're going to make a mistake, where they can learn everything and understand every part of the equipment, the process, everything. You would have a big name person with a gold jacket that might be running teleprompter.
Wow.
In our program on that day. Or we might be doing this because we wanted them to learn everything and have an appreciation for every role in broadcasting. But we did it quietly. There was never a tweet about it because it wasn't about people seeing that part of the journey. And so I say that to say it's okay to be quiet sometimes and learn. To say, I don't know everything. I just need to stop and learn. And so counseling America, I would say, it's okay. You don't have to jump on Twitter every 3 seconds to respond and make a comment about something. Just stop and learn. If you don't understand why Simone Biles took time, don't comment. Stop. Just take the time to stop and learn first.
Yeah.
Because maybe there's some things that you don't know that with better information, then you are better equipped to jump into the space of opinions. And so, I would counsel people to stop and learn more. That's why I've always been a lifelong learner. I don't know if you know this, but I'm like constantly every few years, I'm going back to school for some degree because I just want to continually improve myself and know more.
Yep. I've got a group of people that I teach and train in ministry, and the things I keep telling them, you got to go deeper. And you've got to be continually learning in this process, or you are not an effective, communicator of the process, because things change, things develop, more information is gathered, and it helps enhance you as you watch this minister to and help other people. So I get it, and I can appreciate it. Dr. Jennifer Thibeaux joining us here on the lunch break. I appreciate you sharing that, because it gives me this other thought. When we look at, spring training camp right now with the NFL players, I just talked earlier, Mac Jones out of Alabama, going to be a great quarterback. Looks like he's got all the tools. Obviously, he's smart, he's competitive, and what have you. We can celebrate Mac's maturation after one preseason game without tearing down Cam Newton after a phenomenal career. How do we learn how to appreciate one without trying to destroy or placing that one on top of the other one to make that one look better?
Well, the problem with professional athletes is that they make it look so darn easy.
Yeah.
So we think, well, do it again. Just do what you just did again.
Yeah.
And then if they do it again, we'll do it again and again and again. And so suddenly when they can't just simply do it, it's like, well, you can't do that. Steph, you can't have an 80-point game. What's the problem?
Right.
Cam, you can't go undefeated. What's the problem?
Yeah.
But the reality is those watching couldn't come close to doing, what these professional athletes do, and that's the hard part. Again, that's that gap, right?
Yeah.
That information gap, to not be so quick to tear down. Every career is going to have a beginning, it's going to have a high, and it's going to have a low.
Yeah.
That's the cycle. I don't care if you're an accountant. I don't care if you're a basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has a season, a strong set of seasons for themselves in a career.
Yeah.
And so why would a person be trash? I mean, like literally whenever Cam retires, he has not an ounce to be ashamed of.
Right. That's true.
He has had an amazing career that has spanned longer than most.
Mm-hmm.
He has had amazing success. Mm-hmm. His talent is where it should be.
Yeah.
Like where's the harm in that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
But we're so quick, gotta, put my opinion in on something, it's garbage, is this, that, and the other. And I'm like, and I know in Houston sports, in particular, football, there's a lot of commentary right now.
Right.
And it's tough because that line starts getting blurred of, okay, well, if you're here to cover football, then cover football.
Right.
And that's kind of what the athlete wants. That's what a football player wants.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about my sport.
Mm-hmm.
But then the media says, well, we're not just talking to you about sport. We're talking about newsworthy topics. So even though this topic is not about the sport, it's connected to the athlete. So we feel it's okay to ask the questions. It's the ask, so then it's become okay. Ask in a respectful way, timing of the ask. It can be all of a mess. I just want to tell you, I'm glad I'm not in Houston media right now or in sports period, because it's a tough room for everybody.
Yeah. Dr. J joining us here on the lunch break. I was out at training camp, and when Deshaun walked by and when he made the statement, he made it to all of us. We were standing right there. And it just blew my mind to hear other people report it as if it was one thing. And I'm right there. And that's not what it was. And it's just like, how did that get turned into this? And that's not what it was. And it's just like, okay, I get it. Two people can see the same thing differently, I guess. But that was a whole stretch to hear folks say, oh, he snapped at the media and he's just attacking the media. That's not what happened.
Well, don't you feel sometimes people are ready to fit things into a narrative?
Yeah.
That there are times where no matter what an athlete says or does, it's going to be molded into a narrative that they've already queued up and they're ready to report, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because you know how the news cycles work.
Yeah.
You know the direction things go. Yeah. And when you're planning stories, you have certain other events planned around it. So you need that story to fit and to work, that storyline. So, and that's one thing a lot of people don't recognize. They think that the news media, that the stories that come out are just these onesie, twosie. No. It's a collection of things that were more than likely pre-planned.
Correct. Dr. Jennifer Thibeaux joining us here on the lunch break. Let me ask you a question. I want to hear this from the insider. What was training camp like for you as a wife?
Well, it's a little different for me because Chris was done playing,
Okay.
so I never got the wife experience
Okay.
while Chris was playing.
Okay.
But I will tell you that I have been the close girlfriend of the wives
Okay.
plenty of times, and it can be hard on the spouse.
Okay.
It can be very hard on the wife because they've lost a helpmate during that time. The husband is usually very needy, right? The husband's usually in a lot of pain. If you're talking about football, right?
Right.
They're in a lot of pain. They're hot. They're normally working out in pretty hot temperatures. Sometimes the husbands are watching their friends get cut,
Right.
and so they're stressed, and so depending on the relationship between the husband and wife, it can be a stressful time because the wife is down a helpmate and the husband has become needier in different ways.
Right.
So it can be tough. So those family days that all teams have, it's really important for the kids, for the spouses to see each other versus just FaceTime. Back in the day, there was no FaceTime, so you're just constantly on the phone. But it just, it can be really, really hard on a family. And people just think, oh, it's great. You sit up in a big old mansion, and because that's what they think, right? You have people, housekeepers and nannies, and you're living the life. But that's for most, it's not the life, because that's not the kind of life that they have created. Now they might have a nice house for sure, and nice car, but it's the companionship that you miss and the added stress of the being away that can be really tough. And what if your husband is one of those that get cut? And what does that mean for you and your family? So can be a stressful time, because when it's time to go, they knock at that door. They want your playbook and they want your butt out.
Yep, that's true. There's not a lot of fanfare.
Chris has a great story about training camp, and it just has me rolling every time. He had a roommate. I'm not going to say the name of the person, but they came knocking at the door, and Chris was, I believe, a rookie. Chris might have been he was either a rookie or his second year. They came knocking at the door, and his roommate, I guess, felt like it was for him. I mean, like it was for the roommate. So he was like, "Don't answer the door." And Chris was like, "Man, it's me or you. Like we got to figure this out." So they did not answer the door. Okay, they just didn't answer the door. And then like an hour or so later, I'm probably botching this story, but a short time later, they came knocking again, and his roommate was like, "Don't, whatever you do, don't answer the door." And Chris was like, "I'm answering the door." And he answered the door, and he said, kind of internally, he was like, "Lord, please don't be for me." And it was for the roommate.
It was for the roommate. Wow.
Give us the playbook. It's time to go. I said, and I asked myself, "How did you feel?" He said, "Great. I had a room to myself." I said, "That's a shame."
I guess Chris had resolved, like he said, it's either him or me. And if it's me, I gotta go.
I gotta go. That's
I got more room.
Yes. How crazy is that? Nick Saban was Chris's DB coach at the Oilers.
Did not know that.
Yep, that's who coached DBs for the Oilers in 1988 was Nick Saban.
Yeah,
that was his first pro team coach.
Wow, now that's something. Now, all this time I never knew that. I never knew that. Is he still a fan of Coach Saban with everything he's doing?
Yes, he is, and they talk often. And Nick's wife, and they are so sweet. He is a different person, obviously, as a coach to a player. Yeah. He's very stern, but he's just so it's just beyond everyone's wildest imagination how smart he is with football. It's kind of incredible.
You're being nicer to Coach Saban now that I know that. Dr. Jennifer Thibeaux joining us here on the show. I said something about Nick Saban at training camp the other day to one of my colleagues. I said, Nick Saban is the new Oprah Winfrey of college football. whenever your career needs to be revitalized, people say, well, you got to get on Oprah and get on the couch and cry, and she'll get you back on track. It's Nick Saban, because when things fell apart for Lane Kiffin, what happened? He went to see Nick Saban. When things fell apart for Steve Sarkisian, he went to see Nick Saban twice. People go and spend time under Nick Saban, and then they come out and folks give them head coaching jobs.
That's absolutely correct.
Guess who's on Nick Saban's couch right now?
Who?
Bill O'Brien, former head coach and general manager of the Houston Texans. He's gonna come out better. He's gonna come out better.
Absolutely. Well, it just Nick. First of all, like we always joke, Nick has like 1,000 people on his coaching staff. It's incredible. I don't know how he's able to pull it off. A lot of people on his staff are just they're unpaid. It's kind of incredible. But if I had a son going in, to football, I'd want him to go to Alabama just because of the resources, the levels of coaches that are there at any given time, point in time is incredible. Everybody when you walk away from Nick Saban, everybody wants you because they know that you have kind of gone a certain route. But even like, I'll use Pepper Johnson now as an example. So Pepper Johnson is the head coach at IMG Academy. Okay. And Chris obviously is at IMG Academy as well, is the defensive coordinator. Okay. And a lot of things that Pepper Johnson is incorporating is coming from the Patriots.
Sure.
And it's so slick. Like Chris talks about it all the time. I probably shouldn't say it because Chris will be like, "Oh, don't butter up Pep. Don't butter him up." But like the program is being structured in such. It was already great. First of all, they won a high school national championship, but there's another level that they're uncovering, and it's using these professional coaching techniques. From the Patriots. So not a bad place to be able to utilize it. And it's incredible to watch kind of sports excellence and people that kind of get it, and when they get it, it becomes a machine that you can just keep cranking them out.
And I love that. I love, seeing how Deion has transitioned that over to Jackson State. I love that other folks that are coming out of those kind of environments are taking that to places where it really wasn't there. I always said that if my son had wanted to play football, I would have sent him to Grambling to learn from Eddie Robinson, because not only was he going to learn good fundamental football, he was going to learn how to be a good fundamental man. And the life skills that he would have learned there would have been, been forever. So if that's what Pep Johnson and others, if that's what those guys are getting coming out of, from under Bill Belichick or Nick Saban or any of the other great ones, then that's the kind of stuff that is priceless. Wins and losses, great, but that's the kind of stuff that's priceless.
Absolutely. And they just get it, right? Like, and I could be a little biased, but I try not to be. Like Pepper Johnson gets it. Chris Dishman, he gets it. So when you've got some of the leadership in the coaching staff that get it, Lord, this is going to be a fun group to watch, not just on the field, to your point, but in life. I mean, I'm going to brag one more time because this is the official Chris Dishman day. But, like the DBs will have impromptu prayer group. And it almost broke Chris down to tears. He was so like grateful that they got it to that extent. They just were talking as young men and said, you know what, let's just pray about it. And can you believe that? They were in the dorm, did not have a coach around, nothing. It was the right thing for them. And I said, now you've really gotten to people when they start to, reflect growth as a young man. And so, it's kind of incredible to just watch this evolve.
That's the kind of stuff, man, that it doesn't get enough attention. We talked about it with Coach Cole last
That's
week.
Right.
And he did. He was like legit. It's like, man, I should have hired Chris. I should have hired Chris when I was over at TSU. But it's just those like you said, those impromptu moments where it's more about life than it is about X's and O's. Those kids will never forget that. They'll never forget that.
No.
Yeah, I'm thinking about one of your former alum, Carrie Brown, and her husband, and what they're doing at a school here in Houston, Legacy School of Sports Sciences, and it's about all the aspects of sports, but they're teaching life skills. Oh yeah, and by the way, they're winning. They're winning state championships. They're winning, these things. So it's like something about all that being in there pulls it all together, and the winning takes care of itself. So
absolutely. And like that's one of the things, a lot of people don't know. I have this full-on like online learning center that companies, have their employees log in and take classes for my learning assets. What I started doing a few years back was not just having corporate driven topics, the corporate driven stuff, diversity and safety and all the things that, leadership, those are great. But I also wanted to have things like finances, home ownership. Why? Because the person that you see from 9 to 5 is a person from 5 to 9. Like they have a full life. It's a 24-hour life. So if they're bothered at home, if they're trying to figure out how they're going to pay for their child's college, you know what they're doing? They're thinking about that, and they're not being productive because they're trying to solve it. So help them solve life's problems, educate them, offer it right there in front of you. They don't have to stop or take a day off because they're now so stressed out. Teach them. Let's teach the whole person so that they're successful at every step. A successful person at home is going to come be a productive person and successful at work.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I hate to do this. We got to get ready to go. Before we do, Becky Hammond said, don't just hire me to check a box. Give me your thoughts on that in 30 seconds or less.
100%. She is absolutely correct. Everything has to be driven for talent. But there's some underlying things to that. Not just Becky Hammond don't check the box for Black. Don't just check the box for just because you wanted somebody white. Don't just check the box. Like this should be a talent driven job. You get hired because you're talented and they believe that you can be successful. When people can use that lens all the time, then you're going to see a diverse group of people, gender, races, religions. You're going to see diverse group. And when you focus on talent. So that's really what's driven into that statement, not just about her, but the system must be focused on talent. And I think she's right. It's off right now. It's not necessarily focused on talent, as best I can tell by looking at some of the decisions.
Yeah, I got to tell you, if she's not the next head coach of the San Antonio Spurs, if she doesn't get a job before that, I'm done with it. I'm done because you just been playing with us all this time, and same thing with Pop. I know he wants to do the right thing, but if he can't make that happen before he walks off, what was it all for?
I feel like he would, but does Pop have the ultimate say?
And that's what,
that's the problem. Like, who's really pulling those strings and those, the decision makers, that's who we have to make sure they're educated enough to pick talent. I just said something. Do they know how to pick talent?
Dr. J, I got to have you back next week because we got to talk about the NCAA and their, I guess, ruling with Baylor. If they can't get that right, I mean, really, what in the world? So we'll have you back next week. Do me a favor. Go ahead and wish my brother another happy birthday, please.
Yes. Happy birthday to just Mr. Everything. My Mr. Everything. He's so fine. Chris Dishman.
He's so fine.
Yes, he's so fine.
Tell my brother I said happy birthday. We love him much. Liz, we said hello, and we'll talk to you next week, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Take care.
All right, Dr. J, Jennifer Thibeaux joining us here on the show. What a phenomenal person. She is always right on point. We'll have her back next week. We'll talk more about other topics. That's what I love about her. She can go deep on it all. If you need to upgrade your home security, call the Home Security Hotline, 1-800-561-6198. That's 1-800-561-6198. For less than $1 a day, you can get your home secure. All right, Donnie McClurkin up next with the Donnie McClurkin Show. He'll give you the best in gospel music, the latest in the gospel music industry. Donnie does his stuff Monday through Friday from 2 to 3. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. The Census Bureau's long-awaited release of redistricting data Thursday will unleash a flood of new state political maps in the weeks and months to come. It starts with a handful of states pressed against early fall deadlines to draw new district boundaries. Altogether, the maps could tilt control of Congress for the next decade, but they'll come out one by one at first. Across the country, Republican governors like DeSantis of Florida have signed executive orders or enacted laws seeking to prevent local officials from imposing new mask mandates. With the school year getting underway as the Delta variant of the coronavirus surges, some local officials have decided that defying the measures is the only option. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recently revised its guidance for schools, recommending that all students and staff members wear masks regardless of vaccination status. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SibylWilkes.com. I'm Sybil Wilkes.
The legendary 1140 AM AYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM K222CX Houston.
Are you ready?
All right, y'all. Man, I sure hope y'all enjoyed that show. Had a lot of fun, especially when Dr. J came in. Great stuff. Great sharing, great insight, great feedback. I just absolutely love her. Chris Dishman, if you're listening, happy and blessed birthday to your brother. May you have many, many, many more. As always, y'all, not this, definitely this. I love y'all. There's nothing you can do about it. Hey, I'm going to be over at Bayside Mitsubishi from 3 o'clock to about 6 o'clock. Back to school giveaway. If you need backpacks, school supplies, that kind of stuff, come on by 621 Highway 146 South in LaPorte at Bayside Mitsubishi. And don't forget, everybody rides. Nobody's turned down. You can drive off for as little as $129 a month in a brand new Mitsubishi. All right, y'all. Talk to you later.